Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Tea with me, Sam Leterna. Today, I'm super excited to introduce this guest today in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, someone who I have personally wanted to interview for quite some time, El Intocable Gino Medina. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing a lot better that I can hear you. We can hear each other this time.
Yeah, yesterday was a little bit spotty, but I can imagine traveling in the middle of Texas, there could be some connectivity issues. So,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, it happens, but it's okay. You get to talk to me again, and plus, I get to hear you say "intocable" one more time, so it's great.
Same. So what I did want to start talking about is not only are you, a fantastic wrestler in your own right and a constantly evolving wrestler with about 5 years in the business, right? But you come from a lucha legacy, which is so freaking cool. I mean, I love the whole legacy deal. I think it's really cool just knowing the history of a family. Your father was El Sanguinario, right? Wrestled in CMLL, AAA, 20 plus year career, made quite the name for himself and was well respected within his field. So I'd imagine that you would be the person to ask this question about lucha. So I know that in the States, when someone wears a mask, whether they're Mexican or not, maybe the tradition and the sentiment behind it is different, right? But in Mexico, there's a whole tradition that dates back to like the Mayans or the Aztecs, if I'm
Yeah,
correct, right? So can you tell me a little bit about that? And like, I guess
yeah,
the mask.
yeah. I feel like, I mean, I'm not bashing anybody, but here I feel like anybody can legit just put a mask on and be a luchador, not luchador, luchador. Yeah, anybody can just do that here, and which just kind of takes away, like the like you said, the meaning behind it. Which in Mexico, you got to earn that mask. Somebody like Rey Mysterio, Junior right now, he had to earn like he had to earn that mask from his uncle because he was before he was like I forgot what he was, but he had to earn that name. So I always thought that was pretty cool. He had to earn that mask. So same for them over there. They gotta earn every little name that they get over there. Whatever it is, they gotta earn that. That and plus, they wrestle a lot for like their mask and their hair and like they put it up on the line. They're pretty intense over there. So it's pretty sacred to them. And also like over there, if you lose your mask, you can't wear a mask for like it's like a year or two. Yeah, and it's like yeah, but it's weird because you gotta like sign some paperwork and stuff. It's like pretty like official. Like if you wear a mask, that you get your which over there too, you gotta get a license to be a wrestler, like a luchador. You gotta get a license. So you gotta somehow like sign something. And if you wear a mask before that was 2 years or done or whatever, they like suspend your little license or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty intense over there. But it's pretty cool. I was like yeah, yeah. I was like that. Look, I was like Mexico and Japan and whatnot. They take it so serious, and I love that, because that's the way that I see it and the way that I take it. So I just really like that. Because Booker T gave me the best advice one time. They go, "This is as real as you make it, kid. Okay, it's up to you to make it real to them. So that's where I try to go from. As much as I can.
Cool. So you try and merge the traditions you were raised with a more modern take that you're making yourself, correct?
Yes, yes, of course.
And as far as being a legacy wrestler, you are currently signed to MLW, where it seems like there's tons of legacy wrestlers. You have Von Erichs, you have, when Teddy Hart was there, Pillman Jr.'s there. So how do you set yourself apart from these wrestlers? And are you guys competitive amongst yourselves in the locker room?
Oh, of course. Naturally, I'm just very competitive. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I just want to like, I'm just like, oh, I want to win. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm just always very competitive. It's the way I. It might be the Latino in me, the little machismo that's living, But no, but it is pretty cool because I did notice that about MLW. There's so many second generation wrestlers there. And we have somebody like LA Park. I'm sure you're familiar with him. Yes, so it's funny because he was actually my dad's first ever tag team partner. They're
I've
both
seen
from the like
that guy.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
So they're both They're both from the same hometown, Monterrey, Mexico, and so they basically started off together and whatnot. So it's pretty cool that I see his son there now. His son's there as well, and he's there as well. So it's always pretty cool to see them and like be able to get some like feedback from LA Park and advice and whatnot. So it's pretty cool to have him there, and it's pretty cool to have his son there to kind of be like, hey, your dad was a wrestler, my dad's a wrestler. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, it's that competition's always there. Same with Brian Pillman, and then you got Fatu there. That comes from like the Samoan dynasty. You just saw some of it last night at like WWE. You saw how serious they take that. So it's pretty cool to have all those guys there. I know my first ever show at MLW was in Chicago or whatnot, and I remember like wrestling and then going back to the locker room. And I just sat down on the floor. I didn't care. I was just like low winded. So I sat down on the floor and I just looked around and I saw Brian Pillman, I saw Fatu, I saw the Von Erichs, and I saw all these guys that were like second generation, but they weren't giving stuff. They weren't. There's a lot of second generation wrestlers that don't work with their stuff. They just get like handed stuff, and that's why we got to work harder. So I saw a lot of guys like that there, and I was like, okay, this is gonna push me to be even better. My problem for a while was that like I was in Texas a long time, and I felt like I wasn't being pushed. I wasn't being pushed. I was like, okay, I'm good here, but like I want to be better. So it's pretty cool that I get to go to MLW and have that competition, have that second generation competition. And it's funny though, because like two of my uncles are actually wrestlers too, Mexico, and two of my cousins, two of my cousins are wrestlers as well. So I basically come from this like lucha libre little family and whatnot. But to me though, it's never been like about that. I do me, I do Gino. So I go out there and like, I throw the presentation that I want. And then people find out, they're like, hey, your dad used to be a wrestler, huh? Or like, hey, you look like this guy. And I go, oh, that's my dad. And then it's stuff happens like that where I'm not like very like open about it. But when people do find out, they're like, oh, like you're Sanguinario's kid. Oh, that's pretty cool and stuff like that. So I just think it's a little better for me when they don't know, because they don't like, oh, is he gonna suck or or is he gonna like
notion about like how good you should be or something or not be, or what you're getting handed to you or not. It's a whole
so to me, I like it when they see me and I go out there kill it, and they're like, oh, this kid's really good, and they're like, oh, you're a second generation wrestler. I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like I just like that a lot better. Like I just want to make a name for myself, and then from that I want to leave that legacy open for them to find out that like, oh, this guy, his dad was pretty good, and that's my thing. Always been my thing. My dad, like the whole reason that I started wrestling was because of my dad, because he was so young. He passed away when he was about 30, 32. So he was super young, and I felt like he could have done a lot more in the wrestling business. So to me, it's always been about that. It's always been like, hey, how do I, make my dad's legacy even bigger, even better. So that's always like, the little thing that I kind of keep close to my heart, just to be able to do that and, try to live up to his legacy.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure that, there's some spiritual moments where he's been looking down and he's like, yeah, that's he's kicking it. Look at that question mark kick. It's beautiful.
Oh, you love that question mark kick, huh?
Yeah, I really do. I love the clip you posted last week of it. I don't know. You got to get into some crazy hip flexion exercises to get that right.
Yeah, I was telling you that I worked on that the whole quarantine. That's all I did.
Right. Hey, some wrestlers just stopped training, and I mean, obviously, training wasn't available in some places, but some people stopped working out, stopped training, kind of just went on hiatus. So the fact that you continued like practicing your craft was really commendable.
Yeah, like I said, I've been very lucky to be blessed with like Booker T being here and him being my trainer. So like I got a key to the gym, so I can literally go whenever I want. Like I was just training by myself for the longest. There was nobody there. It was just me, just getting like dying in the ring by myself. There's nobody there, and it's like, but it was okay. I didn't mind that at all. I'm naturally a very like to myself person. So, just training by myself didn't bother me at all. I'm like, oh, I don't need people. I'm okay. Social distance should have been a thing a while back.
I can pull myself up in the ring.
Yeah, there you go.
And you're obviously preparing for the MLW restart, I imagine, right?
Oh, of course. So I've been training a lot for that, since I found out, because for the longest we didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know when MLW was going to be back. At some point I heard 2021. I was like, what? And then, it like tripped me out for a little bit. But I'm happy that we get to come back in a couple of weeks actually, and I actually feel a lot better than I did when I was going full force and just into wrestling. I feel a lot better now, like body wise and cardio wise and whatnot. And like I got my question mark kick now, so I got that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited for MLW's restart. Because there's a lot of guys. Before this whole pandemic happened, I only got to wrestle for MLW like three times. Because my contract started like in November or October last year, so yeah, it kind of sucked that I didn't get to do much for like all year, but until like what is in a couple of weeks, I think it's gonna be in October. Are we already in October? Is it October yet?
Yeah, tomorrow I think. Yeah, but from
Oh,
what I've heard, it's like an unidentified film.
oh, okay. Oh,
So
yeah. I don't know either. uh,
that's all I know.
yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm gonna be like the Tom Holland of like wrestling, because every time they ask him anything about Marvel movies, like he's not supposed to talk about, he says it. But I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm very, I'm
yeah,
very
better.
excited.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm very excited about that because, like I said, there's a lot of people that have gotten in the ring with that I'm very excited to. Like Brian Pillman, Fatu, Hammerstone. I just wrestled Hammerstone a couple like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So it's fun that I get to maybe do it on TV now. For MLW to see it. There's a lot that I want to do at MLW that I haven't done yet. So I'm very very excited about that. And kind of plus I feel like it's going to be like a year after I debuted. So it's pretty cool that a year back. I mean, a year moving forward that I get to come back to MLW and do it again.
Yeah, and kind of show the progress that you've made, and however you've evolved. It seems like your character has also made some changes. You kind of have like this like arrogant ladies man kind of deal going on, all the mamacitas, all
Las
of this.
mamacitas, of course.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've always been about the mamacitas. Just lately, I just been throwing it out there. So I'm glad MLW knows now. That it started off with Selena La Renta, so had the main mamacita there. So
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's
yeah,
cute.
no, of course. And she was a lot of fun to work with. She's one of like she's very professional. She's so professional. Like just working with, like just the way she carries herself and whatnot. I just love working with her. I definitely see her. Doing like bigger and better stuff. When her career is over, I can see her like doing a lot more. All over the place, all over the country, all over the world.
And being bilingual is really, a plus, especially in the United States, being an English speaker as well as a Spanish speaker. And I guess being that it's Hispanic Heritage Month, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk the tea.
Okay.
Let's talk about Hispanic wrestlers and representation.
Okay.
Okay, so let's think
Okay.
back to when your dad was wrestling, when, Conan, Eddie Guerrero, all of these names that we've become familiar with, when they were wrestling versus now. Do you think that, like, as Hispanic people in wrestling, that we are getting more recognition? Do you think that we're taking steps forward, or have we taken steps backwards in terms of representation? How do you feel about the current landscape of Hispanic wrestling?
I definitely like it because I know there was a time where like I think Eddie and like SA Reels were like the only ones in WWE. And it's like two Hispanic guys that's like that's all they had. And for the longest, I would think like, oh, they already got two Mexicans. Oh, I probably can't go there. You know what I mean? But now they got a lot of different Hispanic people. They probably got like a good 10 right now. So it's pretty cool that it's pretty cool that they're doing that. And I love to see it. I love to see a lot of those guys get the recognition that they deserve, because I believe the luchadores are one of the most talented people that are out there. They can go when they have to. And I just feel like if you watch Eddie, there's a different like feeling and emotion that a Latino can bring to you. I feel it. I don't know if I'm just being biased, but I know when I watch Eddie, I can just feel, I can just feel every little thing that he said, and I know he meant it, and I don't know, I just thought it was a way different. And I feel that's why a lot of people like Eddie Guerrero still, because they don't remember like a move or a match or whatever. They just remember the way that Eddie made them feel. And honestly, that's all I'm about. I'm just out here trying to make people feel stuff, and and that's what I think a lot of Latinos can bring to the table. A lot of that, you see Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is still going hard right now.
Yeah,
He's
I know.
yeah, he's like what, like 50? I don't know. He's almost getting to 50, right?
Yeah.
But he hasn't lost a beat. He's still going in there. He looks better than ever. He has his son now with him, which is I think is pretty cool because I met him a couple of years ago actually, and I remember him talking to me or whatever, and I was probably like 19 or 20, and he was talking to me, and one night I remember him asking me like, "Hey, how old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, like I'm 19," and he just looked at me. He was like, "Huh, okay," and I just feel like something like he just looked at me like, "Oh, you're my kid's age," so maybe he thought about something there. He was like, "Oh, this time to throw Dominic out there,"
Yeah.
So I just thought it was pretty cool. And plus, he was great to like just interact with, because like he didn't have to watch my match, but he did. Like he literally grabbed the chair and put it right on the curtain and just watched my match. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool because I mean he's a legend and he didn't have to watch lame me, lame 19-year-old me. So that's pretty cool that he did something like that. But yeah, I feel like representation is huge right now, and like because you got all these companies that got different Latino superstars like all over the place. We got me in MLW. We got a couple of people there that are Hispanic. We got them all Impact, WWE, NWA. You got Thunder Rosa right now, who's killing it. Yeah, yeah. I love Thunder Rosa. You got my homie Sammy Guevara, who's killing it as well. You got different people all over the place. Who's representing Latino, Hispanic culture, which I think is great.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Wrestle Tea. I really appreciate it, and this was a very enlightening conversation with me. I think everyone that watches is going to absolutely love this interview. And I guess just, finish us off with where we can catch you in terms of social media. And yeah, sign us off, Gino.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. That's about it. You can find me on Facebook too. I don't really use it. You can find me at TLHT, stands for the Latin Heartthrob. You can find me there, or you can find me at MLW's Restart. Which is going to start very, very soon. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know if I'm gonna pull up with some mamacitas. You don't know if I'm gonna beat up somebody for that championship, some campeonatos. Either or, I know it's gonna be very entertaining. So you guys stay tuned for that. All right.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing what the future holds for you. And for those of you that are watching, Gino's info is going to be below in the bio and also after this video. So please give him a follow and support his wrestling career. Thank you so much, Gino.
Thank you.